always look that good this early in the morning?
No. Still waking up.
Hey, what's your name? Tell me.
I'm Kaila and I play Kitchen Brinkman.
And I'm Josh and I play Ian.
We want to ask you some questions about your experience in Russia.
Well, I'm really glad that I can do this. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Alright, question 1. What is one way you saw God at work on the trip?
Well, the very fact that we were invited to the Russian parties, maybe we should start over again.
Alright, question 1. What is one way you saw God at work on the trip?
Well, the very fact that we were invited to go to the Russian Far East, I think is just a big deal in the first place. In fact, when we were invited to go to the Russian Far East, I thought that that part of Russia was called Siberia. So I learned a little bit of geography right at the beginning. And then when we found out that we were going to a community of 3,000 people that had never heard about Jesus ever, I thought, how can you turn that down? And then when we invited friends in Alaska to join us, and friends from the lower 48 states, and they said yes, and we actually ended up with 4 airplanes and a lot of food and a lot of medicine and a sound system and a keyboard and a guitar and all of that, we could see the work of God. And then somebody called from Texas and says, are you bringing Bibles? And I said, well, we don't have enough money to buy Bibles. And they said, we're sending you the money. And so we brought 500 Russian language Bibles with us. So all of that was evidence of God's hand.
What did the guy mean when he said, you say and you do? It's hard to say. I mean, it's easy to say, but hard to do.
Yeah. Well, his name was Anatoly, and he was an intern with a pathetic little clinic that was in this village. And I say pathetic because they didn't have much. At that time, the floor of their clinic was, at least the entry was dirt. And then when you came into the clinic, you knew that you were in a place where you could get sick instead of get well. And we brought medicine to them. Lots of pills and all kinds of medical supplies. And he was working at that clinic. The gospel started to make sense to him because he realized that we were telling about Jesus, but we were doing a Jesus thing by caring about their physical needs and their medical needs and their health needs. And for him, that helped make sense of the gospel that we were sharing and singing about.
Why is music so effective in missions?
You know, I don't think missionaries can go anywhere in the world without music. And whether it's in Africa or South America or Russia or any place else, music is so terribly important. And we brought a sound system with us. We brought a keyboard. My wife and I sing. We brought a guy by the name of Don Wharton who sings and plays a guitar. And I think maybe half the people who came every evening came because there was music. And the Russians love music, and they're good musicians. So they really appreciated the music part of our presentation.
What would you say to a kid who might be thinking about missions?
Well, you know, when I was a little kid and I heard about missions, I didn't know you could go to be a missionary as a teacher or as a farmer or as a bookkeeper or as a translator or working with computers. There are lots of ways that we can be missionaries in other countries, in addition to preaching and teaching the gospel. So I would say that if a kid thinks he wants to be a farmer, he could be a missionary farmer. If he wants to be a doctor, he could be a missionary doctor or a nurse or somebody that knows about computers. So there are a lot of ways that we can serve God as missionaries that, at least when I was a kid, I didn't even know about.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah.
For answering our questions.
Well, I'm really glad to talk to you. Thanks.
Bye.